Welcome to Remain in the Race podcast, brought to you by 88 Live to Ride, with your hosts, Ryan Havens, Daniel Hillian, and Mitch Reynolds, where we're going to discuss all things family, life, racing, and outdoors, where all glory will be given to the one who created us.
You're listening to episode 36, and it is going to be another one that is just dynamite. Man, as always, off the top, got to give it up to our sponsors, 88 Live to Ride, 110% nutrition, RJR, whose sponsorships, if you want to be sponsored by RJR, get that resume in. But across the table from me is the one and only, the 137, Mitchell Reynolds. How you doing tonight, Mitch?
Doing great, man. Holding it down over here, Super D. Some great interviews tonight. Had great stories. Such a great time. Super D 36, man. We're rocking it, buddy.
We're rocking it. Yeah. I was thinking of who's a popular 36 right now. Yeah. One of our early episodes, Damian King, number 36.
Indeed.
Yeah.
The number 36 of Damian King.
So on tonight's episode, number 36, we've got a awesome young man. Dylan Jones jumps on with us, the 130 on the YZ399R or whatever, and you'll hear about that here in a little bit. But Dylan was a great up and coming guy. Actually I like to claim he got his start in GNCC. He did one cross country and then jumped into the flat track world. But we're gonna say his roots are in the woods, and okay. I'm gonna just keep saying
you're just gonna stick with it.
Yeah, okay. But he does cross train, so we can find middle ground there.
Yes, true.
And he shares about that a little bit. So our first interview, you'll hear from Dylan Jones. And then in the second, we have Bayleigh Thomas from the Midwest Series. And she's raced NE-EDT. She raced the BTR Women's Shootout. And I've got a great story in there that we'll save it for when we get there. We always like to dangle a carrot. But it's a great story of I was picking on Bayleigh's dad, Dustin, a little bit. But man, episode 36 is going to be so much fun.
Absolutely. Just really fun one.
To see visit with some of the younger ones, the up-and-comings. Bayleigh's a senior this year. Dylan is just
13.
13, yeah.
Yep.
So he's still got several more years there in the youth class. And so, man, tonight was a lot of fun.
It was really good.
We had a good time.
Visiting with two different great families what continue to make up this sport. But before we get too far,
hit me with it.
Cheetah print fanny pack. So Lisa Crouch.
Oh yeah.
So this was the Thomases mentioned this, and this might have been kind of what I was envisioning y'all wearing, and probably like laced in pink. Is this my sponsorship? Is Lisa Crouch going to sponsor me the cheetah print fanny pack to ride cross country?
I bet she could, and we could put like they call it the bladder, the thing that holds the water, and we can rig it up. Yeah. So if you go back and listen to episode 34, we had Landon Williams on. And Landon and I were talking about racing cross country, and that instead of wearing a camelback, kind of a thing a lot of guys are moving to is an actual fanny pack that instead of the weight being on your back as you're kind of hunched over going through the woods, it's around your waist. It's a little more. It's a little more comfortable. You're still laughing, and you literally thought camelback. And so Julia's telling us tonight, like, oh yeah, Lisa Crouch has got, and so she reached out. She has a cheetah print fanny pack that for when we do get you in the woods, I think Lisa has a fanny pack.
Perfect. I'm definitely going to wear the cheetah print fanny pack.
Yeah.
Because it is exactly what I envision.
I wonder if we could get. I wonder. So Dustin is Dagan the Crouch family. Dusty is Dagan's dad, mechanic.
Yep.
Yeah, and dude, Dusty is super. Like they build some amazing bikes over there. Super cool. And, like back in the day, like now most mechanics, will carry a backpack down to the starting line. But there was guys that carried the fanny pack. I wonder if Lisa could get Dusty like a cheetah print fanny pack to like carry all of his tools in down to the line.
Oh, he would rock it.
Oh, yeah. Sure with that beard he's got, all day.
The cheetah print fanny pack, the fanny pack saga continues.
Yeah. So thanks, Lisa. You can drop that in the mail to Remain in the Race, P.O. Box 801, Green Box. Send that over to Mitch so he can ride that in the woods. But yeah, good times there. But well, man, we're about 5 minutes into this one.
Man, we might as well get to the interviews.
All
in
right.
all honesty, I mean, they're good. There were some good interviews. So let's hit it with Mr. Dylan Jones and Miss Bayleigh Thomas.
All right, y'all stay with us. 88 Live to Ride is a nonprofit foundation invested in the protection, education, and safety advancements for all riders involved in ATV racing. One way you can support Miss Debbie Pard-Tosick over there is to log into smile.amazon.com when you're making all your purchases there and select 88 Live to Ride as the nonprofit you would like to donate to. Again, that's smile.amazon.com and 88 Live to Ride.
We are on the line with Dylan Jones from North Carolina, your most recent 2023 NE-EDT Jr 12 to 15 champ and 200-400 champ. Dylan Jones, what's up, man?
What's up?
How's it going over there in North Carolina, buddy?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Getting pretty cold, but going pretty good.
So heavy and hard at it with baseball. You got a baseball tournament coming up this weekend, or what's up?
We're going to Myrtle Beach to play travel baseball.
So that takes up a lot of your time outside of racing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. What position do you typically play?
I typically play first, but I can pitch some, and I play outfield a lot too.
Okay. Are you a lefty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The prototypical first baseman here, the lefty, Mr. Dylan Jones. So Dylan, tell me a little bit about racing to this point for you. Like, what does racing mean to you?
It's mainly my whole heart. I started racing when I was 6 on a 50 DOR and GNCC, and after that, just kind of went on, found out what flat track was, and went from there.
So you started GNCC. How long did that last?
We did one GNCC race, and then we found out about flat track and tried that out, and I figured out that I like that a lot more than GNCC, so that's where we went on from.
Very cool. I know you've got a really awesome racecraft in TT for sure, and I've always appreciated the machines that you build. So is your dad primarily in charge of that, or who does your builds?
It's mainly my dad and Kyle with Woodward Done Racing.
Okay, it's super cool. So tell us a little bit about your Yamaha.
So it was in 2022. We were at Stanley Farms, and we were just kind of talking, kind of throwing the idea around. And I rode Chucky's Yamaha, and I went out for practice. I did 2 rounds of practice on it, and I was like, man, I really like this bike. So after that, we kind of started figuring out what to do, and got a Yamaha from TDR, Tim Detlin, and took everything apart and sent the motor out and got that built and put it back together. And
that's sick. So it was just basically you got on Chucky's machine and you're like, ooh, this Yamaha feels nice, because we know the Honda chassis has dominated the TT world for a while, but obviously you come out and just dominate this year. I mean, had a really, really good year. So that's super cool. Super cool. So I didn't introduce your parents, but your parents are Eric and Christina Jones. And so tell me a little bit about y'all's racing program. Is it you and mom and dad that traveled all the races, or how does that look?
It's this year was me, mom, and dad in our camper, and then Kyle and Brandy with Woodward Done. They were in theirs, and we went to every race together. Well, different campers, but we traveled together. But last year it was mainly just me, my dad, and Kyle that went together.
So does your dad do primarily your setup, or do y'all have some people that are helping you with setup? How does that work?
It's mainly my dad.
Very cool. So tell me, what was the highlight of the year for you, man?
Black Ankle was our first race. I really found out that I liked the bike a lot and the setup was good. From there, I just focused on the year.
So we were out at Black Ankle this year, so we got to witness you on the Yamaha out there, and man, you're just super smooth. So tell me, like, who do you mimic your racecraft after?
Carter Buff. He's helped me with a lot of starts and lines, and mainly Carter Buff.
Okay, well, Super D would appreciate that, because Super D, like, I mean, I like Carter too, but Super D is Carter Buff's biggest fan for sure.
And I've told him that too. I've said, Carter, I'm your biggest fan. I said, why don't you come on the pod? And he just goes, yeah, man, I sent Mitch a message. I'm like, No, for real, dude. We want to have, but man, I mean, and it's funny you say that. I don't know what that beep was. Was that you on your end? I don't know. Anyways, the microwave's done. Hey, fries are done. But one thing it's so funny you say that, because Mitch, when you said that, I'm like, he kind of rides like Carter.
Okay.
You know, you're not all over the bike. You ride towards the back of it a lot. You kind of drive with the rear end. And when you were talking about the Yamaha, it like you're a taller guy. How tall are you, Dylan?
Right at 5'10".
5'10". And so you think for like a youth class, like that's pretty good. I mean, like you're just a tall young guy, you know. But what's crazy is like watching you on that Yamaha chassis, it just looks like it fits. You know, some guys you see them on a bike and like, dude, that didn't look like they fit on that thing. But Carter on that Suzuki platform looks really, really comfortable, and you look really good on the Yamaha too. So yeah, that's definitely a great guy to have in your corner, giving you some pointers. Because let me tell you, he has come on strong this year. Like, again, I'm Carter's biggest fan. I don't think he recognizes it, and he's missing out on a great opportunity.
He is indeed. He's got a great racecraft, and definitely a great person to learn from, Dylan. That's for sure. Yeah.
Super easy to talk to and visit with. You know, easy going for sure.
Absolutely. So Dylan, share with us your greatest memory of racing to this point.
Probably when I first won my championships in 2016 and 2017, or 2017 and 2018. I really remember that visually, and I was really happy when I figured out that I was capable of winning a championship, and started training a lot more in the winter, and just went on from there.
That's awesome, man. I know that you've had like one good year after another. I know, I think I was at Pine Lake. I don't know if it was last year or year before last. You had a little unfortunate accident there, kind of took you out for a little bit, but fortunately we're able to rebound from that and got it back going on the track. So who are your buddies at the races?
Wesley Stanley, Ethan Stoddard, and I hang out with Carter a lot.
Okay. So your competition or your buddies. I love it. When I raced youth, that was kind of the same way. Cody Miller and Thomas Brown, and J.R. Hines, those were my biggest competition on the track. But off the track, like we rode pit bikes, we hung out, we stayed at each other's house. Like that was what it's all about. Even though we were from different states, we would, travel all over the U.S. racing each other. Too cool. And friendships that, are just great. I mean, Thomas and I are still best friends to this day. And it is a relationship that was started through racing. So super cool. So tell us a little bit about, I want to know about Wood Well Done racing. I need some insight into what Wood Well Done is.
So our first GNCC race, my dad went and bought a 50, and we went to the GNCC race at Aona Pass, and it was me, my dad, and Kyle. And after that, Kyle went to Ricky Earnhardt and all of them that when they were back then racing, and they were big into DRRs, and went and bought some Nerf bars and a few engine stuff and tires. And he just kind of went from there and started helping us a lot. And now is my biggest sponsor.
Okay, very cool. Because I know you've been repping that all the way through, so I didn't know if it was a family deal or kind of how that worked. But super, super cool. So what about, aside from baseball, let's step outside of racing just a little bit. Aside from baseball, what are your other interests, your other hobbies, your pursuits? What do you do?
Oh, I fish a little bit, but besides that, not much. I mean, I don't live in a neighborhood. We live on a bunch of land, or I wouldn't say a bunch of land. We could live right near a bunch of farms and stuff. We don't live in a neighborhood though, so not much besides baseball, fish a little bit, and racing.
So with racing though, so being on a big piece of property, do y'all have a track that you practice on? Like, how do you stay in shape? How do you condition yourself for the races?
I don't have a track in my house right now, but we have a few tracks about an hour or so away from our house that we go to a lot in the winter. We go probably 2 to 3 times a week, maybe.
Okay, cool. So y'all get out and ride and race. Is that mainly TT, or do you?
It's mainly MX.
Mainly MX. All right, there we go. All right, baby. So I have this little deal going. I'm previous MXer, so I always say that to cross train you need to do some other sport. So when you opened up and said at the beginning that GNCC was your first race. You couldn't see him, but Super D's face lit up because he's a cross country man, loves the cross country.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of like, hey, I'm the MX man, but EDT is where our heart's at. But super cool. So ride motocross, and that's probably where a lot of his style comes from, Super D.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because like Mitch, he's big on the motocross side and stuff, but Dylan, like, you're like not hurt. And so that's where I'm like, yeah, man, get in the woods, because the woods, it's like, if you want to go between two trees at 40 miles an hour, sure, go for it. If you want to like go through it at 4 miles an hour, that's okay too. I mean, you're racing other people, but more than anything, you're racing the clock. And so that's what I like about it is I think, getting in the woods and learning some different techniques and stuff there really helped me when I kind of got back into flat track racing. And so Mitch and I are always going back and forth. He says motocross is better. I think the woods is better. And so you're proving it. 2-time champ this year. So that's another feather in my cap that woods racing makes better TT racers.
But hold on. Wait. You just twisted this around, Super D. He raced one GNCC.
Yeah.
And then he's an EDT expert, man. He's got it on lock, and he cross trains with motocross.
Yeah,
so
but the roots,
he's
the foundation is GNCC.
Okay, Dylan, we'll stop our argument right there. But I do appreciate the fact that you cross train in some MX.
and that more than anything, like, as long as, like, our biggest thing is, like, you can't just do flat track, or EDT racing. Like, you need to branch off into something else. And so I guess you've done a little bit of both. So I'll compromise there, Mitchell.
There we go.
We have a local series that goes from, it's mainly in South Carolina, but it goes a few races in North Carolina. It's called Mid-East Hare Scramble. Okay. And I have a 400X that we do we try to do as many as we can. GNC, it's pretty much GNCC on it.
All right. Very, very, very awesome. So Dylan, who do you look up to? You've already told us that Carter's kind of guy you hang out with, that he coaches you some, but is there a specific racer that you've had that you've really just looked up to through your career in racing so far?
Probably Cody Houghton.
Okay, very good. That's a very good one to look up to.
Yes.
So I actually had that in my mind when I've seen you ride. I thought you kind of emulated some of his style, which is super smooth, and he has some great lines. So got another great guy to follow, and that was kind of how I developed my racecraft, is hanging out with different guys, learning from them, following them, and then you kind of develop it into your own, and that's how you get faster, for sure. So Dylan, you got anything else that you would like to add, that you would like to highlight from the year, from what racing has given you or given your family?
It definitely gives us something to do. It is it's every weekend we go to the EDT, or we have a few local series near us that we do. But it mainly takes up every weekend, and we try to do as many as we can just for seat time.
I love it. So how many weekends a year do you feel like you race? I mean, there's 8 rounds of the NE-EDT.
From all the races, even the local series and stuff combined, from the beginning of April to the end of November.
Sweet. So not much of an off season. I like it. Well, hey, Dylan, who would you like to shout out? Who do you want to thank, man?
I really like to thank Well Done, Kyle and Brandy, On Top Building Company, that Brandy's real estate, Hoosier, Wrath, Rocket with Rocket Hubs, Dwayne.
Yeah, I'm going to pause you just right there. This is episode number 36, and that's DJ's number that he rocks, the number 36. Him and I actually used to race together. So we go way back to the 70 mod days. Super cool. Super cool. He's a great guy. I mean, he has got a mind that's kind of out of this world. So he's an awesome guy to have in your corner. So awesome. Keep going.
I would also like to thank Chucky. He helped us a whole lot with this Yamaha stuff, with getting parts and helping us with kind of putting all the stuff together and just all that Yamaha stuff.
Now, are you like proximity, like where you live there, Dylan? Are you close to Chucky?
We're about an hour or so away from Chucky.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
We consider that close.
Yeah, that's doable. So like if you're struggling or something on setup, man, you can load up, just run down to his shop and hang out and watch all the kids and have a good time.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Who else you got? Who else are we thinking?
BRM graphics, Foreworks, FXR with that's all I can think of.
Gotcha. Hey, what suspension we running on the Yamaha?
PEP.
PEP, that's what I'm talking about.
Done by Nate McNett.
Nate McNett.
Is that correct?
Oh, Wayne.
Oh, done by Wayne. Okay. Well, the PEPs are the combo, but Nate's name or Wayne's name, I mean, over and over again. I've worked with Wayne in the past, and those dudes, I mean, they've got it going on. They've got it going on for sure.
If I know over here in the Midwest series, which is close to us, Dylan, if you see CJ or Greg Casey walking around on the phone, they're talking to Wayne or Nate. Just like, hey man, if they're struggling with setup a little bit. So that's awesome, dude. And so one thing that was cool, I'm going to circle back to the beginning here. When we were at Blank Ankle, I'm watching the classes roll out and the 350s are real popular. Jax Malloy over here, Ryan Kisner, they're big 350 guys. And didn't Cody Houghton have a 350?
Yes.
Okay.
Both him and Tanner Terry wrote 350s.
That's right. Had the KTMs. And so then I see this blue Yamaha and I'm like, oh, it's probably just a 250 that's been stepped up. But right there on your graphics, and that's what you mentioned, the B&R there with your graphics, dude. And it says, tell me exactly what it says. Is it YZ 400R? What does it say right there?
YFC 399R.
Three,
yeah.
I like that. That is so cool, man. And I think it's neat that, to kind of get inside because you being in a youth class and having the limits you have, like you got to play within the rules. Like there's a box you have to stay in. And what's cool is they've opened that up to where it's like, hey, I can take a bigger engine and sleeve it down to where I can get to a 399, 395, or the 350s, and man, it makes it really, really, really cool because you've got a very, very dependable power plant there that's, it's designed to be running 450 cc's, pushing plus or minus 50 horsepower. And now it's at 400, probably not pushing 50, but like your drivetrain and everything else is going to be, it's going to hold up as well.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to
super
say.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was awesome, dude. And I think you got a sweet ride for sure.
Well, Dylan, we appreciate your time, man, for jumping on with us. I know it's a little bit late out there, but jumping on and spending some time with us, we really appreciate you getting on. And man, keep it up because you're killing it out there. And we're going to be keeping our eye on you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's Dylan Jones. We're going to catch a break real quick, so y'all stay with us.
Hey, here at Remain in the Race, we're all about Ryland Johnson Racing. For all of the aftermarket needs, from grab bars and bumpers to heel guards to complete custom builds, give them a visit at RylandJohnsonRacing.com.
Man, again, thank you so much to Dylan Jones. And after we quit recording, his mom and dad came on and we got to visit with them a little bit. And man, Mitch, another great family.
Absolutely.
In the ATV racing world.
Good quality family. Mom, dad, son, all traveling the country racing, enjoying it, meeting up with their friends.
Yeah.
And she gave us a little insight into her second son. So she might be pulling some strings.
That's right.
For us as well.
So Carter Buff, you better be answering those texts, my man.
Yes. If you want that spaghetti dinner, son.
And Mitch, that's one thing. We've kind of been carrying this theme here the last couple of episodes about, what does it mean to be a Christian? And you've just heard from the Jones family and how they're connected and they travel together and basically they do life together.
Absolutely.
And then here in a minute, we're going to hear from Bayleigh Thomas and how she's connected, and the Crouch family are good friends with them, and the Kisners and Beth Clayton and Ella Barrett, how just they're all connected. And man, it just, like, as I'm just sitting here, this kind of dawned on me, like that's what the church is supposed to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what are we commanded to do? To love our brothers as ourselves. It's put others above yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's what they do at the races. They take care of each other.
Yep.
Love is action. It's not not emotion, a feeling. They actually do things for one another. They've got each other's back. If somebody needs a quad to borrow or parts or anything, they take care of each other. They meet them where they're at. My mom did that a lot at the races as well. She would, I mentioned the spaghetti dinner because that's what she would feed everyone spaghetti, but just taking care of people, not just going and doing this thing for yourself, but always thinking about others. I mean, that's really ultimately what Jesus did for us, right?
Yeah.
He came to serve, not be served, he came to serve, not be served.
Yeah.
And he showed us the ultimate display of love.
And this is kind of fresh on my mind. Me and the little series I'm doing with my students right now, we're working through the Sermon on the Mount, which is Matthew 5, 6, and 7, chapters 5, 6. So if you dive into your Bible and you have a Bible that has Jesus' words in red, there's just this huge section in the beginning of Matthew. It's like, oh my goodness, Jesus did a lot of talking, but it's known as the Sermon on the Mount. Yeah. And towards the end of that, in chapter 7 last week, we were talking about that, that's what we're commanded to do, love God and love others. And you can see that, here in these families, just visiting with them and hearing their stories, you're like, man, you're doing it.
Yeah, you're really doing it.
Yeah, you're really, that's my line right there. You're really doing it. Well, speaking of really doing it, how about we keep going and let's get Bayleigh on here, and you can hear from the 329 of Bayleigh Thomas.
You got it. Let's hear it.
All right, here we go. Here's Bayleigh Thomas.
Hey, we are on the line with women's MWEDT racer from Illinois, Bayleigh Thomas. How are you, Bayleigh?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're so glad to have you on here. So, Bayleigh, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a senior this year, and so we are trying to hit as many races as possible. And so that looked like driving through the night and trying to hit all the NE-EDT races as we could, and all the Midwest races and all the local races that we could. And I'm 17 and I play volleyball, so I'm always busy. And we even had to miss a race for volleyball, which my dad did not let that slide very well.
So whose decision was that?
My mom's.
That was your mom's decision, so we know who rules the roost. Okay, just so we had that clear. So y'all raced Midwest, you raced local, you raced NE-EDT. How many races did you hit this year?
Quite a few.
So are you just trying to challenge Jeremiah Worley's senior year? Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to outdo him?
Yeah.
I thought so. Well, that's awesome. So for those of you out there who don't know, her parents are Dustin and Julia Thomas. Julia, we always give shout out for giving us the live feed at the MWEDT races, sitting out there challenging Mr. Eric Ashcraft, who has the strongest arm, who can stand out there and call them the most amount of races. But so y'all are heavily involved in the Midwest and all racing in general. So tell me what it is that you love about the racing world, Bayleigh.
I love how competitive that all the women can be and still come off the track and like hug each other and have a good time, and the sportsmanship, it's just there.
We highlighted that a little bit in the last episode, like just how close-knit you are. I mean, you are fierce competitors on the track, but you come off and you just kind of have a special bond. So who are your ladies that you have that closest bond with?
Ella Barrett, I would say I'm really close with her. She's one of my best friends. I really look up to Paula Quick, and Beth Clayton. Really look up to her. She's really fast. Been racing forever.
Not to age her or anything, but Beth is like our age.
Yeah.
Thanks she's for been that. Racing a time or two.
Mm-hmm. You know what's cool, Bayleigh? You even mentioned Paula. And I'm not dating Paula at all. But she's been around the sport a long time, and she even talked about kind of mentoring Mel Torchio a little bit, and then they have a great relationship, and then obviously you're really close to that family as well. I mean, that's how cool is that even though you have like this immediate family like your mom and dad, but like you and Ella are super close, and how far away do y'all live from each other? I mean, it's not down the street, right?
Yeah, it's like 4 hours.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
Isn't it super cool like how this racing connects all of us? I mean, you have friends from all over the place that you would call your close friends, and it's not like they're just down the street or the next town over. They're a state over or states over. But then y'all get together and race and do what you love, and it's just one big family.
Like a second family, pretty much.
That's absolutely right.
Oh yeah, I love it. And like for Mitch and I, we were able to come to the first Midwest race there in Paducah, and of course we see everybody, and Julia even got some pictures of us for our builders brawl with Garrett and Steve Keister. And then like we don't see you guys again. Like we're watching the live feed and we're talking about it on, different episodes, but actually at the races, we don't get to see you guys again until, well, for me, it was Indiana. And what's crazy is, and what I love about it is you just pick up where you left off at the last race. Julie's like, "Hey, how are the kids?" And I'm like, "Oh, they're good," and like y'all, like Mitch you raced not long ago. Like I'm the new guy on the block. And even, last year when we went to Sykeston, everybody's just like, "Hey, welcome, come on in. If you're hungry, help yourself in the motorhome. There's food in there. You can cook." I mean, it's just the coolest thing ever. Like you talk about, Bayleigh, like you can go out and bang bars and be fierce competitors, but you'll come off the track and be like, "Hey, we're going to, Lambert's. You want to go?" And it's just, I love that about this sport.
Yep, most definitely. So Bayleigh, you're 17. Tell us how long you've been racing and what got you into racing initially.
I've been racing for 7 years, and my dad's friends raced locals around here. So I used to grow up watching them. And so we just like travel and watch all of them race. And so like when I was 10, my dad got me my first race four-wheeler, and we've just been racing since.
What was that first quad, sister?
A Can-Am 90.
A Can-Am 90. And so you got into the DRR stuff there for a little bit, correct?
Yeah.
Good, because I was like thinking maybe my memory was failing me. I remember you competing pretty heavily, like as we were getting back into the racing world, coming back, that you were on the DRR.
The DRR.
So, as Super D calls the DRR.
Yeah.
He shortens everything. So what's your greatest memory of racing so far to this point?
I would say winning the women's belt at the end of the year. Like
Sweet.
that was just like a goal was like to like win a women's race, and just winning the belt was just a blast for me.
Yeah. And to have your name. So I assume Beth has won that the past 2 years. Is that correct?
1 year.
1 year. Yeah. So like her name will be first, and then like your name will go right under that. Like that is super cool.
And I mean, that's one thing we've seen from you, Bayleigh. Like you've been a good competitor all season, but it seems like you really found your own here at the end of the season by going over at the NE-EDT and getting on the podium there at Pine Lake, at the last MWEDT there, getting winning the belt for the East versus West. So what did y'all find at the end of the year? Can you share that with us?
My dad has really been working out in the garage. He bought a dyno, and so yeah, we just have a dyno in the garage, which our neighbors love. And he's out there every second he can, tuning the bike, getting it ready for the weekend, and that's been a big help.
That is super cool. So your dad is your primary setup guy. He builds your chassis, does all your setup. Is that all correct?
Yep.
I did walk by the trailer. I think it was in Indiana at Osgood.
Yeah.
And they had it on scales, and Dustin was walking around looking at it, and I just had my toe on one of them. It's like, what in the world? And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I just had my toe on this.
Always got to be.
I was wondering why we had 40 pounds of cross weight in this
thing.
Hey,
you should watch you pick a fight with Dustin Thomas. Could ground you.
That's
you understand
true.
He could put you in the dirt.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. All right. So we'll keep going now. You told me that you also do volleyball. So is that like for the school? Do you travel with like a tournament volleyball team? What does that look like?
That's through the school, and it's almost over now. So, but I've done it the last 4 years, so it's like always been with racing. We've always planned with each other.
Libero?
Setter.
Nice.
Y'all will have to enlighten me.
That's fine.
I mean, I'm not educated in volleyball, although I know it's super fast paced and really entertaining to watch.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, Mitchell, when the ball comes over the net, the libero is the first one that usually touches it.
Okay. Keeps the ball in play.
Yeah. The libero will bump to the setter, and the setter, in this case Bayleigh, she will set the ball for the striker. Is that what it's called? Hitter, spiker, hitter. Okay. Yeah. So bump, set, spike is kind of the thing. So it comes over, you get, is it 3 touches? Yeah. Bump.
Yep, it's 3 touches.
Yeah. And so if you hit it 4 times, the other team gets a point. So Bayleigh is always the second touch of the ball. There you go.
It's kind of like the playmaker of volleyball.
Ooh, I like it. Okay.
Yeah, because as it comes there, like depending on where you're at on the court, you can either set it like do a short set right in front of her and get like a quick. You always want 2 people to where the defense doesn't know, like, okay, do we need to block here?
Right.
So you always want 2 people coming at the net. And so you can come 2 out wide, 1 in the middle, 1 out wide, you know.
Gotta have the element of surprise.
And someone is constantly, or I guess you're calling it out, Bayleigh. You're saying 1, 1, 1, 3, 2, you know, letting whoever knows, like, hey, your butt better be there because that's where I'm putting the ball.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to learning so much more about this sport because I know it's entertaining for sure.
Well, you know, I did win a what's that called? Intramural championship when I was in college, sand volleyball.
Oh,
shout out SNU. That's great. To the we were like I don't remember.
Well, before Super D starts telling some lies about how great he was at volleyball, we'll get back to the real playmaker.
Moving on.
All right. So, Bayleigh, is volleyball primarily what you do to stay in shape, or your cross training that you do for racing, or do you do anything additional?
Mainly volleyball. Like, it's throughout the entire summer and in the winter we have open gyms, so that just keeps me in shape like 24/7, no matter what.
Can imagine, because it is so fast paced. Like your heart rate's up. It's much like racing. Now, aside from racing ATVs, do you do any riding? Like, is there do you race anything other than EDT?
No.
Okay. She's an EDT primarily and stays in shape with volleyball. Well, what else do you want to mention, Bayleigh? Like, what is it that just continues to drive you in racing and keep you circulating the sport?
I like to see how far I can get, like set goals every year. Like this year was to get a women's win and like a podium in 1424 with the guys. And next year is probably going to be like to win in the 1424. So I just like to set goals for myself.
I like it. Ultimately, that's what you got to do. You've got to set goals so that you can keep your eyes set on that and they're working forward towards something. So I'm all about that. I'm all about setting goals and having a purpose. Thomas was always big about when he coached people, like set goals for your practice sessions. Like every time you need to have a purpose with what you're doing when you're on the track. And I think that's in life in general too. You got to set goals so that you make sure that you're working forward, you're improving your craft and really achieving the top that you can. So Bayleigh, who would you like to shout out? Who do you want to give thanks to?
A huge thanks to my dad, because towards the end of the season, he's put in so much work calling our sponsors 24/7 and just getting the bike ready for every single race. I would also like to thank my mom for all her pictures and everything, and my sister, and all my sponsors. Dynamic Manufacturing Services, Mark Lee and Travis Evans, JFG Racing, Jim Glenn, 309 Powder Coating, Seth Thomas, D at Rage, Fly Racing, Denny Walton at Jet Labs, Lee at Wrath Racing, Eric at Empire Industries, Rye Motorsports, Nick and Missy, and all of the support they give me throughout the season, Drew at Maltech, Wiseco Pistons, ODI Grips, Sunstar Engineering, Engine Ice, Mobius Braces, Henson Racing, Pekin Alignment, Joseph Thomas, All Balls Racing, Fourworks, World of Power Sports in Peoria, Illinois, DP Brakes, Douglas Wheel and Tires, Whirly Motorsports, and Crouch Racing.
Wow, what a list. That is too awesome. You mentioned D. So does D do some of your motor stuff? Do you mention?
Yes.
Okay, I was just asking that. I mean, I used to spend some time down there in training in his area. So I know Dee and Michelle really well. So that's awesome that they're part of your program. And you mentioned your dad. I mean, we know how crucial he is in this sport, like how much work that he puts in, not only for you, but just all the behind the scenes stuff that him and your mom do for the
Yeah,
sport.
he's always giving a helping hand somewhere.
That is the truth. I think recently he lent a helping hand to Super D as well. Is that true, Super D?
Yeah. Dustin is a big help to me. He likes to send me messages. Because I don't know if you're aware. So you got to race let's back up here a little bit. I'm gonna answer your question by backing up. So you had the opportunity to race the BTR women's shootout this year, correct?
Yes.
All right. So you got to qualify.
Which she got fourth.
I was going to build up to that.
Oh, you're building.
That's fine.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
You drive. Go.
Okay. So good thing I can edit, but I'm not. I'm just going to leave that in there. So Bayleigh, you get to Pine Lake. You've raced there before. You kind of know what you're getting into. A little bit different track from probably the last time you'd raced it. But how did qualifying go? So walk me through. We're just going to go through the day. How did qualifying go?
It was fine. We didn't really know we had to take the joker lane until we got there. So we were only on the track one time for about 6 laps that we were able to take the joker lane and check out the track. And so my dad was really stressing about that.
Yes, I could see Dustin being like, "What? We didn't set up for that."
Protest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dustin getting wound up. That'd be great. So what did you end up? So, and I'm trying to think here. So the order for your heat was completely random. So what heat did you have and what did you finish in the heat?
I had the second heat with Mel and Paula and Kelsey and
Yeah. No heavy hitters in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mel finished first. Well, I got the whole shot, and Mel finished first because of the joker lane.
Mhm.
And second was not Kelsey. It was Andrea? Paula. No,
Yeah,
Paula
same.
got 6th.
Yeah. But so let me keep going. So you finished 4th, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
No, I finished 3rd. I finished 3rd.
3rd. Okay.
Because
So
Paula got stuck at the end.
that's right. Yes. That's right. Okay. So that determined how you got to draw. And did y'all draw ping pong balls or clothespins? Like what or chips? What'd you draw?
Chips. We drew chips.
Okay. Frito-Lay, Funyuns. Do you know specifically what kind of chip?
Yeah, Doritos for sure.
Doritos.
Yeah.
Nacho cheese. Anyway, so you finish 3rd and y'all had the fastest heat, correct?
Yes.
And there was 2 heats or 3? There was 2, 3.
3. You didn't.
3. Okay. Sorry, I'm setting up dominoes here is what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
So you're trying to say she was picked 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah.
Probably 7. Just draw 7 from her chips.
Right?
Yes.
So 1, 1, 1. That would be 3. 2, 2, 2. 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So probably 7.
7, 8. Yeah. No, because she was 3rd. Oh, okay.
3rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Moving on.
I know how this math works.
Anyways, so I'm sorry, I'm former math guy here. I was in engineering for a while, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what percentage, like, of the chips that were drawn, what is the odds of you getting a front row pick? Because that's really all you're hoping for. I mean, Pine Lake honestly has a pretty. I've seen guys rip starts from against the rail, and then down in like slots 2 and 3. I mean, for what Pine Lake is, it is pretty. So you're trying to get a front row start, and of the chips that had been drawn, and I don't know, I was trying to figure all this out ahead of time. But the point is, what are the odds, Bayleigh, of you drawing chip number 20? Pretty high, and pretty high. Okay, and Bayleigh in her pink gear, super pumped, BTR women's shootout, dives off in the chip bag for a Cool Ranch Dorito and pulls out chip number 20, correct?
It was like original lay.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. And so anyways, okay. The reason I'm dragging this out is because when we did the interview with Mel, we were talking about this. And I said, man, I just felt so bad for Bayleigh because she had a stacked heat race. I mean, of the three, that was the hardest one.
Yeah,
for sure.
no doubt.
And that's not throwing shade at any of these other ladies. They're all fierce competitors.
That's just based on the overall finish.
I know exactly that I got perfect, by the way. And so I'm like, man, like she's got, and so you ended up fighting your way. The Joker lane kind of worked to your advantage, Bayleigh, and ended up fourth. And so super awesome ride. Then came back later that same day for the actual women's class of the NE-EDT series and got on the podium. So anyways, we put all this out in episode 35. You can go listen to it now with Mel Torcio. And Bayleigh, I put this out in like an hour after it had been published. I get a message from the one and only Dustin Thomas. And all it says is, really? ? And I panic. I was talking to my dad and I said, oh, shoot, Dad. And he goes, what? And I said, I just got a message from Dustin Thomas and I think he is not happy. And Dad's like, what? And I said, it just says really. And Dad was like, oh, I got to go see you. It's like, well, I don't think he's driving from Illinois down here to like whip me or anything. And so I let it sit, Bayleigh, for probably a good 30, 40 minutes. And I was just like, what am I going to do? And I think I just sent him a message back. I said, help me out here. And he said, I've been trying to forget about that stupid number 20 and y'all just keep bringing it up. And I was like, oh, sorry, man. It's just, I was trying to like, what are the odds, but hey, I mean, that's the luck of the draw, but hey,
like every single conversation that weekend, somebody had to mention the number 20.
Yes, I love it. Oh man. So here's the deal. You know what it was? Dustin's like, I can pay for that dyno. I can put a good chunk on that dyno. Bayleigh's going to go win it. We're going to take that $5,000 that what Mel say she was going to do. She wanted to buy something. Oh, she wanted to buy raffle tickets or something.
Yeah.
Her mom and dad are like, nah, that's going for fuel. And Dustin's going, hey man, we're going to get that cash. We're going and then dang, number 20 bit us right in the rear end.
Yeah.
So, but still a good finish.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So
if there's a
good
hard
story though,
if there's a hard charger award or the
biggest mover. Yeah.
Biggest mover.
Yeah. I mean, from 20th, you got 20th pick. A Super D is just losing it. He is not agreeing with the biggest mover pick.
I'm thinking there's a better way to say that.
Okay.
Like most people that were passed, we try to be a semi-politically correct podcast. But
that was Paula. Paula had all props to that. She had 19th overall and she finished second overall. She was
she was on.
Yeah,
so
she had 19th.
So
just Bayleigh, see, this is the connection you ladies have.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even take the kudos. Got to give it to somebody else, right?
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
absolutely.
But that is too awesome. So you and Paula come from 19th and 20th pick to finish second and fourth overall. Too cool. From the back row.
Yeah, because Paula, there's another lady that races that has a color scheme. I think it's one of Paula's old bikes. They look a lot similar, and I think she must have had a front. Because I'm like, no, Paula was on the front row.
That's right. Paula was 19th. Bayleigh, thank you for sharing that, reminding us of that. Yeah, we had totally forgotten. But Bayleigh,
back on track. Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's the end of the track.
Hey, real quick before we get off of homecoming or high school, how was homecoming?
Homecoming is next weekend.
Ooh, it's coming up. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a big deal for seniors, Mitch. It's a big deal.
I totally understand.
Absolutely.
The senior year, you got to bask in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big thing. I understand.
That's right.
Well, Bayleigh, before we get too awkward over here, thank you for coming on with us. It was good to have you on here. And what a great season and a senior year. I hope y'all wrap up volleyball with some good wins. And so thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's Bayleigh Thomas. So we've got a couple other things coming up, so y'all stay with us. From top-of-the-line athletes to weekend warriors, 110% Nutrition has the supplements, the knowledge you need to take your fitness to the next level. They are now the title sponsor of the NE-EDT series for the 23 season and work with some of the top pros in the sport like Aaron Medlin, Brad Riley, and Amateur Rider of the Year Tanner Terry. Check them out on the web today and make sure to use our code REMAIN at checkout for a discount. Work with the guys that support the sport that we all love. 110% nutrition. Man, thank you again to Bayleigh for coming on tonight. I know she's got
AKA the Playmaker.
The Playmaker. That's right. Yeah. So, like, you know volleyball. Well, no.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I've watched volleyball, but I don't necessarily know all the ins and outs. No.
I got you. Sorry.
But it is cool.
It is fun. I had a group of friends that one of my buddies, his dad was a pastor at one of the big churches in town, and they had an indoor volleyball court, like legit volleyball court in their like family life center. And so we would go up there at night and we would play.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like just good, clean fun. Had just. Yep. And so did that. And then when I was in school, they had sand volleyball. So at the beginning of the school year and the end of the school year when the weather was nice, like no one went to class. Like you just played volleyball all the time.
Sand volleyball.
Yeah. So, but anyways,
I want to highlight something else aside from volleyball that she didn't really mention till after the fact. We were visiting, you know, after we get off of here, we always, after we quit recording, we always talk about them.
And we said, we got to start recording those because those are so good. Oh my
gosh. Like so much good information and candid conversation there. It's good stuff. But dude, Bayleigh is quite the student. Like, I mean, she's recently been accepted to college, and she plans on going on a pre-med track, doing biochem as a major, or chemistry, and her mom was kind of listing out all those things that she's accomplished in
Member
in high
of
school.
National Honor Society, Spanish National Honor Society, Math National Honors, and recently accepted to Illinois State University.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
women,
are
changers, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. Playmakers?
The playmaker, making plays in the classroom and on the track and on the court.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're talking about it, and we were talking about so that was my joke early in the intro, talking about Dustin, and he sends me that message like, I'm trying to get over this, and y'all just keep bringing it up. Bayleigh drawing that number 20, but it's a great story, and it'll live on forever.
It will.
Julia said,
20.
yeah, and she said, well, you know how we got there? And we're like, I don't.
No, we don't know.
No.
Enlighten us.
Yeah, so she did.
So another guy that we love in this sport. We've said this guy is. I mean, he's phenomenal. He's awesome. We did a builder's brawl with this guy.
Yes,
he helps everyone. Just a great guy. Jim Glenn. Yeah. Jim Glenn sponsored Bayleigh to race the BTR race. So they weren't going to race it.
Well, registration had closed.
Okay, registration had closed, yeah.
And so that's what, I guess Jim pulled some strings, and they kind of all got together, and then Brandy was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, let's get her in. And so Jim sponsored Bayleigh to get her into the race.
Too cool. I mean, what a guy. What a guy. So Jim Glenn, awesome. Thank you for doing that, getting Bayleigh out there and letting her be able to draw that number 20 chip so that we have such a great memory.
Oh, it's great. And so that's what I didn't realize, that that Paula had drawn 19.
I did know that, actually. We hadn't mentioned it, but I had seen in there 19 and 20. Those ladies.
Still an awesome race, and I know the Kook Media guys have put some stuff out, and some highlights and stuff from the race, and go check them out. And I saw where
PH3 photos as well.
Yes, they did a really cool edit. And
absolutely,
we'll try to share that stuff. I think our man Freddie Snuggs has shared some of it too. But Tyler Allen put out a video from him today, and man, dude, he had a race going on. Like, he was riding so good, and I guess he clipped a tire right towards the end.
Oh man,
yeah, and the whole edit's still in there, of him tipping it over or whatever. But
dude, he does do some cool edits.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, PH3 photos, you haven't seen a lot of that. That's Josh Klein. He was over in the motocross world.
Oh, okay. He commented on some stuff. I'm like, who's Josh Klein? But
he's super cool, man.
Shout out Josh Klein.
But I think he's trying to work something out to maybe like the TT world kind of captivated him. He's like, ooh, I want to build a machine and get out there. So maybe we'll see some more PH3 photo stuff flying around as the EDT world's kind of got got him on the hook here. So good job out there, Josh. But dude, the Thomas family.
Oh, I know.
Too great, man.
So when we came back, I told you, I said, hey man, I need to meet this lady. And he goes, oh yeah, and Julia just treated me like I was part of her family. And Dustin's always been super cool. And Bayleigh's just always she's kind of sneaky, but fun. And I'm like, oh yeah, y'all are cool people.
Absolutely.
And then we don't know the Joneses that well. We got to visit with them tonight. They were super down to earth and
every family we connect with on here, you're like, dude, it repeats itself. It's great family.
It's great
family, great family, great family. That's what the racing world's made up of. We've got great families too. So,
yeah,
dude.
Well, and think back, and this is going way back in the vault, bitch. But we are friends because of racing.
This is true. Even though we live in the same town, we are friends because of racing.
Now we do. But,
now we do. That's true.
20, 25 years ago we didn't. But
that's correct.
But it's just so cool that here on this side of it, we don't race near like what we used to.
That's right.
And we started this little thing just because we wanted to stay involved, and now we're dude, we're so far. There are 5 4-wheelers in my shop right now. And there may be more in there now. I don't know. They just keep showing up. It's great.
This
love
is
it.
Awesome.
My shop smells like MR12, by the way. I don't know what the statute of limitations is on the 90 race, but they never said anything about fuel. And I guarantee you, Coop's little 90
was souped up.
It got some sauce, man. And my shop smells amazing every time I go out there.
So
it's great.
Just speaking of smells, Remy. So River had a little Suzuki 50, and it hasn't been running for a while. But Remy said, I want to ride a yellow 4-wheeler.
Yes.
Okay, she's been telling me, this is my 3-year-old.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, it doesn't run, and one, I don't trust you to ride it. But Haley is like, you need to get that running for her. So me and Ryder kind of work on it and get it running, all right? Yeah. It's got a tether cord you can pull behind it and stuff. Right. Haley's got some funny videos of her out there riding it, but she's been riding it pretty often now. So got a bunch of generations riding now. It's a good time.
That's awesome, yeah.
But Dad pulls up. She had just been riding. He pulls up. He's like, what's that smell? He's like, that smells good. I said, yes, you are familiar with that smell. Yeah. He looked over at that little 2-stroke, I said, yeah, put some good fuel in that thing.
That's right. Put some good stuff in there. And I'm trying to think, because you were definitely in the 2-stroke world longer than I had a blaster. You were 91. What was you a Maxima 927?
Yeah, I think that's primarily what we ran. Maybe Bayleigh at one point in time.
Bayleigh,
but Castor 927 seems like that was probably the most common one that we used. I've hit my head a few times since then. You understand?
Yeah. We had a 2-stroke for 1 year and sent it on down the road.
But I did live the 2-stroke days.
Oh, yeah.
It was wide open. Then MX, it was like, is it a 20-foot double or a 75-foot tabletop? It's a pin. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Hold it wide open, clutch a little bit, maybe, not.
Yeah.
Well, man, this has been a fun episode. I look forward to everything. I love this. And a big shout out to all of our listeners, man. I was checking the other day. So on the platform we use to host our podcast, Mitch, I guess this is okay to say.
Yeah.
But this year alone, we're pushing 4,500 downloads.
So, and that actually, that you go check those with other things, it actually doesn't figure all the numbers correct. So if you go on over to Apple, Apple will say we've had like 8,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't communicate all that, but it's super cool to kind of see it grow. But kind of on that note, it's important for us that people subscribe, they like. We have the YouTube channel too. We don't use it a lot, but it does download our episodes over there. So if you want to go and hit the little ringer, little doorbell on there as a notification, because every one of those things kind of connects people together, so we can get these stories out there, because it's not about us. We're enjoying the ride, but like sharing these people's story and getting them connected, and ultimately giving the ATV racing community exposure. Yeah. So when you subscribe, when you like, when you review, that connects us with a bigger. A bigger platform, really.
And that's one thing that we're also trying to work on with the different series and stuff, to say, hey, when you get ready to release your schedule, hey, not that we need insider access, but we want to help promote, launch that, because people, they listen to us. We just want the sport to grow.
That's
at the end of the day.
Right.
That's what we're doing,
and we have a good time doing it.
I'm having a blast. Like I love everything about this. I'm hoping that when flat track racing gets on like Flow Racing TV or something like that, I hope
call Super D first. And then I'll be I'll be your wingman. I'll be right there too.
I would love to be the play-by-play guy or pit reporter. I don't care. Just get me in. That's what I want to do.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Someone make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Make it happen.
So it starts with liking, subscribing, reviewing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
yeah. And again, thank you. Like all of our episodes, we get tons of shares and likes and comments. And man, thank you so much to all of our listeners. We love doing it.
We do, and we want to keep doing it. So.
That's right. So
let's make a wrap on this, baby.
Let's do it. Oh, I guess you're giving me the nod. I guess that means it's my turn.
Your turn, baby.
All right, Father God, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for all your many blessings. I just thank you for just family. And we've got to hear 2 stories tonight of people that are doing that are being a community, that are supporting one another, helping each other out, God. And so I pray that we can just live that out in our day-to-day lives, God. So thank you again for this day and all your many blessings in Jesus' name. And we all said, Amen. Well, hey, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.